Hi, my name's Joshua Jackson. I'm an Ombudsman at the Legal Ombudsman. The Legal Ombudsman investigates complaints about lawyers from those who've used their service. Today I'll be talking about wills and probate complaints. This is one of our top areas of complaint. In 2017 and 2018 we received 737 complaints in this area. That made up around 13% of all the complaints that we investigated. So the most common types of complaints in this area are delay and failure to progress the administration of an estate. These make up around 24% of all the complaints we investigate. We also receive a lot of complaints about costs too. So that's costs being excessive and cost information being poor. Those make up around 20% of all the complaints that we investigate. Mrs A was the residuary beneficiary of her late father's estate. His will appointed the firm as executors of his estate, and it was a modest estate. He owned a property, he owned some shares, and he had money in some bank accounts. Mrs A, she wanted to know, quite rightly, how much it would cost to administer the estate. And she also wanted the shares to be sold because she had some concerns about the fluctuating market. The firm didn't provide any cost information to her. They also said they'd keep her updated on a monthly basis, but failed to do so. When we investigated this complaint, we found the firm's service was unreasonable when they didn't provide cost information to Mrs A. We found that the firm actually acted quite promptly when they sought to sell the shares, but the issue was with Mrs A's father's broker. He caused the delay. However, the firm's failure to update Mrs A about this meant that we found the firm's service was unreasonable in that regard. We directed that the firm's overall bill should be reduced as a remedy. The Legal Ombudsman will invite both the complainant and the law firm to provide evidence during the course of the investigation. It's good practice for a law firm to provide residuary beneficiaries with client care information. So that would include things like the likely overall cost of the matter, as well as the regularity of any updates. So the kind of information we'll be looking to receive during the course of the investigation would be a client care letter. We'd also expect to see costs updates and any updates about the progress of the administration too. Of course, what looks like quite a straightforward administration of a estate can become more difficult if there's any unexpected developments. Those unexpected developments can increase costs, and in those instances we would expect a law firm to provide updates to residuary beneficiaries in that regard. When somebody instructs a law firm to administer an estate, it's often at a very upsetting time in their life. A loved one has passed away. It may well be the very first time they've instructed a lawyer. That's why communication is absolutely key here. That's why we would expect all cost information to be given at the outset, any updates about increases to be given, along with any updates about progress and the likely time for the administration to be completed within. And also, it's well worth remembering, if you promise to do something in a specific amount of time, but you can't complete it within that period, inform your client. Furthermore, things go wrong, life is complicated, and if something has gone wrong, you can avoid a complaint coming to us by acknowledging it and telling your client how best you're going to put it right. It's also very important to remember that cybercrime is on the rise. Most of the time, people tend to think that this is only really relevant in residential conveyancing transactions, given the amount of money that passes to and from client accounts. But remember, it's likely that you are going to be distributing large amounts of money from the residuary of an estate. It's going to be very important for law firms to make sure that they're not victims of any fraud in this regard. The Law Society, the SRA and the Legal Ombudsman have got really useful information about that on their respective websites. I hope you found this useful. There's more information available on our website. Thank you for watching.